So over the past couple weeks, Sneo has been going on his little bitching tour complaining about everything there is to complain about. Most notably, how he was blackballed from the streaming community. Now if Sneo isn't smart enough to realize this yet, then let me educate that dumb piece of shit. Your whole career, Sneo, has basically been built off saying controversial things. You say things for the sole reason that you know it's gonna get other people mad. You have literally made a career off pushing people's buttons, saying things that people say you shouldn't. So it's no surprise, so it shouldn't be a surprise that no one wants to fuck with you anymore. Why would anyone want to hang out and stream with someone who they can't have a normal conversation with because you're gonna say something that's gonna affect how they make money? Sneo isn't some streamer that boosts your views when you have him on. All he's doing is making it harder for others to see why they even need to have him on in the first place. It's like, do I want to have the guy who's gonna pull a Borat and say all women are dumber than men, or do I want the sure thing and have someone who isn't going to try and pass the black ball onto me by association? There's a reason Jinxie or his team didn't want to release this podcast, if that's even true, but the fact that it got you to accidentally tweet out this from your main account when it was obviously supposed to be from your burner shows that you're just trying to make people feel bad for you now. Sneo is acting like there wasn't only 2 videos uploaded before his a week apart. He thought right after he left the podcast they were gonna upload it because he's so used to doing live streams he doesn't understand the concept of editing videos anymore. Sneo used to make some pretty dope videos, but now he's complaining about himself in the third person like he's a fucking psychopath. But during the podcast, about 30 minutes in, Jinxie tells Sneo that he disagrees with 90% of the things he says, and one of the things is how Sneo thinks depression is bullshit. And for the next 5 minutes, Sneo shows us exactly why no one wants to fucking work with him.
I disagree with probably 90% of the shit you say.
What do you disagree with?
I mean, like, well, I can't just say like, oh, I just.
See, I hear that all the time, and then people never bring up anything. They say, I disagree with 90%. Like what?
So, okay, I'll give you 2 things I disagree with right now. You were kind of saying like, oh, if you're sad, do push-ups. Like that was kind of your thing for a little bit.
That's a great solution to being sad.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
So what do you do when you're sad?
So
that's the worst thing you've ever heard?
So no. I'm not saying working out is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Doing push-ups when you're sad is one of the best immediate solutions to being sad.
Yeah, and putting pressure on your wound after getting shot is one of the best immediate solutions to getting shot. That doesn't mean you're not going to go to a fucking hospital for a better solution to your problem. Just because you Googled how to get your body to release dopamine and saw exercising was an option doesn't mean your suicidal friends are going to change after you work out with them. It goes without saying, but depression isn't one of those things that can be cured with immediate solutions, let alone ones that come from someone who doesn't even fucking believe in depression.
The reason why it's the worst thing I've ever heard is because when you're saying, oh, if you're sad, all you have to do is do push-ups. Doing push-ups is fucking amazing. Working out is amazing. Mm-hmm. That is a beautiful thing. That is fucking timeless.
Timeless.
You have to understand that some people are genuinely depressed. Some people are genuinely sad.
Bullshit.
This is not true. This is
not true. This is not true.
So do you believe in like brain
chemical imbalance? No, I think that's.
You don't believe in chemical.
That's another giant psyop, Jinxie. Come on, man. Chemical
imbalances are a psyop.
You think that you can catch sadness like it's COVID? You can't just catch I'm sad. That's not how it works. There's circumstances in your life. There's a reason that you're sad, and you got to figure out why. You don't just randomly. You're just chilling. All of a sudden, roll over and then something's wrong with your body. That's not the case. And you know that's not the case because you've been working hard at what you do.
Dude, I work hard at what I do.
You don't have time to be sad because you're working hard and you're doing things. People who get depressed just have nothing to do. So do something, do a push-up. It's better than being like a
I like how push-ups are his only solution. If you have nothing to do all day, doing push-ups all day to counter that isn't going to make you happy. You're just going to be tired and sad that you had nothing to do all day but push-ups. And even if you do have something to do, why do you think they installed suicide nets at the iPhone factories in China? I can guarantee you because it wasn't a lack of production. He doesn't even say how many push-ups to do. I bet you if you asked him that, he'd be like, just, until you're happy. Oh, really? Fuck. Guess I can throw away these antidepressants if it's that easy. Also, anytime I hear one of these streamers use the word psyop, it makes them sound fucking ridiculous. Like they're a little kid finding out a new curse word that they can't stop using. Ever since these conspiracy theorist streamers started using the word for almost anything, the interest for it has literally skyrocketed. There were actual fucking psyops happening during the war in Iraq, and the interest isn't even at half of what it is today because of their bullshit. He's talking about people being sad sad because they have a chemical imbalance is an operation to convey selected information and indicators to audiences to influence their motives and objective reasoning, and ultimately the behavior of governments, organization, groups, and large foreign powers. Saying that out loud made me want to fucking click off my own video.
Dude, I can't even tell if you're clip farming right now.
I'm 100% not. Wallahi, this is what I believe completely. And I will debate you about this for hours.
Cool, let's do it. So you don't think life itself is intrinsically depressing? You don't think life is intrinsically depressing?
Sure, but what's
okay? You can't just sure that. You can't just say sure.
Okay,
life itself is intrinsically depressing. You're born. I don't believe you're born against your own will. You're then crafted into a person. You become conscious at age 3 or 4. When you get older on, you find you love your family. You find these friends, whatever. You slowly watch everyone you love and care about decay and die right before your eyes, and you know you soon follow. You're sitting here saying chemical imbalances, or not even chemical imbalances, natural depression isn't a real thing. Mm-hmm. On top of that, you're saying if I get on the floor and do 20 push-ups, it's okay.
It's better than not doing it.
It is better than not doing it,
exactly.
But you just said depression's bullshit.
It is.
Now, obviously, he is just doing this to be controversial. Just because you can debate something with someone doesn't mean you're doing it because you believe in what you're debating in. You can do it just to be different because you know it'll get people's attention, which is exactly what you're doing. If depression was bullshit, you wouldn't need something like push-ups to fix it. You don't try and fix bullshit. The fact that he even has solutions for something that he said he doesn't believe in is contradictory in itself. That's like saying you don't believe in God, but then you start telling religious people, hey, if you keep praying, you're gonna get into heaven. It's like, who the fuck are you to tell them anything?
It's better to believe that than to believe that. Like, see, you just described life, and I could describe life the same way too. Nothing you said was wrong, but it's your outlook that's wrong. Like, you're saying, oh, you born into life and then people die. Like, you can view it from a beautiful perspective. You could think, okay, God gave me the gift of life. I'm born. And then my family may die. There's hardships that I have to endure, but that makes life all the more beautiful. That makes me appreciate it more. The fact that my loved ones aren't going to be here forever. It makes me want to cherish the time that I have now.
Yeah.
It makes the moments and the time that I have be able to work and do things and create. It makes it more interesting and amazing because it's not going to be here forever. So I'm going to use this gift of life to do the best I can.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that that's how I think. I'm saying that that's
how
why
losers think.
That's why people are depressed.
Yeah, losers who don't do anything. You don't think that way, so I don't know why you're advocating for people that you're not anything like.
Is he actually retarded? Did he really just ask why is he advocating for people he's not anything like? Maybe because you don't have to want to kill yourself to advocate for people not to do that? That's like going up to a fucking animal rights activist and being like, hey buddy, why are you advocating for these animals? We're both humans, right? They can't even do push-ups. I hope that someone in Sneeko's family catches some rare disease, so when he starts asking people to support finding the cure, we can all be like, why would we advocate for somebody we're not anything like? Sucks to be her. Don't finger a fucking bird next time. You will get bird flu. You can tell Sneo just likes to hear himself talk though, because there's no way someone is this happy about being able to debate this for hours when all his information comes from the first page of a fucking Google search.
It's not that I'm advocating. I have my own thoughts. I'm a very positive person.
Right. That's the right way to approach life.
Every day I wake up in the morning and I'm thankful that I'm alive, right? That's how I've always been. I always will be till the day I die.
That's great.
I've always been a positive person. But you're saying depression's bullshit, and that's fucked.
Even if it's better to view it like that. Like, so if you believe that like you can just catch it like a disease, what is your solution to that? So say you're right. I just can catch depression. Now what? I'm depressed?
I don't think depression's a disease. I just think people just think about life and they get depressed.
Yeah, that's another thing. He keeps talking about depression like it's fucking AIDS and anyone you come in contact with can give it to you. There's a reason he can debate this with you for hours. It's because there's no disproving his logic, because his logic already disproves itself. So you're basically arguing with a wall that talks back and is always wrong. Sneeko thinks he's debating one of the kids in his chat, which is why he thinks his push-up argument is a valid one.
And I'm just saying you can't kind of just say it's bullshit. That's all I'm saying.
Why not?
Well, because you're different than everybody else, right? You have your own outlook on things. What if someone else's outlook is totally different? They don't care.
But their outlook isn't working.
No. But
it's clearly failing if they're depressed. If they have the outlook that depression is crippling their life, stop thinking that way. Start believing it's bullshit because it's clearly not working.
Okay.
By definition, it's failing.
So what do you mean? Define working? What do you mean?
Working is doing something.
Fuck yeah, spoken like a true philosopher. Working is doing something. No fucking shit. Sleeping is doing something. Eating is doing something. Now do you guys see where there was a hesitation to put this out? They were editing this and being like, do we actually want people to see this? I feel like people who have depression might actually end it if they watched this. I honestly couldn't watch any more of the podcast because he literally has no idea what he's talking about. Like, this is what made me say that, alright, that's enough.
Okay.
Because being depressed is the absence of action. It's not
So
having
action,
a positive mindset.
you think action is working, right? Like action.
Action, yeah, is moving forward.
What? Depression isn't the absence of action, and action isn't moving forward. Where's he getting these definitions from? Because he isn't pulling them out of his ass, because these are worse than that. Newsflash to everyone who's depressed, just do something. I don't care what it is, as long as you're not loading a gun and putting it in your mouth, or anything else you would do after listening to Sneeko's advice. As long as you're not doing any of that, you're on the road to recovery. And hey, don't forget to pump out a few more push-ups to get that extra boost of silliness, a little silliness in ya. But yeah, guys, you can't complain about being banned on all social media platforms and how no one wants to work with you, but then go out and say dumb shit like this, like it was supposed to make everyone like you again. Like, look, out of the 100K plus people that voted if they wanted to see this, 63% said no. And even if that was a bunch of trolls, not even getting in the low 50s is absurd. But yeah, guys, I can't wait for Sneeko to go back to streaming so we can start complaining about everything else and how he sucks black balls. Also, thank you guys for 16K subs. Woo!
My name is Shake Sula, the mic ruler, the old schooler. You want a trip? I'm ready to ride. Fly down, get I'm all caught, rock you like a cop. Me run your next, working up now. Why make the money see? Me, why get the honey? She traveling in my car, living like a star. Ice on my fingers and my toes and on my toys. Check it, yeah. 'Cause we are the Aqua Teens, make the homies say ho.
Meatwad, your bunny rabbit showed up.
All right, where is it?
Ooh, it's a long bunny, huh?
Sure is. Come on, bring him in here. Come on, hurry up. I ain't got all day.
No, I'm putting it back outside now because you think I'm some kind of slave.
Please, you can bring the bunny rabbit in here now. I need it.
Then you get it. It's your snake.
My snake. I thought you got me a rabbit.
Rabbit. Well, maybe you should just open it up before you go flying off the handle, judging things you don't know anything about.
This ain't no damn bunny rabbit.
What do you know? It's a snake.
I wanted a bunny rabbit. I was going to name him Nathan. That's Latin for warm, by the way. Nathan Scott Phillips.
Hey, look. Turn that frown upside down. You can still have a bunny rabbit.
Really?
With a little imagination, of course.
Oh, boy.
And look what we have here. Pipe cleaners, a stapler, and a pound of human hair.
I can make some fur and shape some ears for him and staple it all to his head.
Then you'll be able to have your very own long bunny rabbit that you designed. It's your chance to play God.
Hold still, Nathan. This will only hurt once. But damn, will it hurt.